The week of July 14, 18 opens with chaos and uncertainty at the heart of Los Angeles Memorial Hospital. Under the cold glare of surgical lights and the sterile silence of anticipation, Liam Spencer is wheeled in for yet another life-saving operation. The man once torn between Steffi and Hope now lies motionless, caught in a battle not of the heart, but of the brain. Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech, paces just beyond the operating room doors. She's done this before, faced impossible odds, but this time it's different. The scans aren't lying. Liam's tumor has grown. The pressure in his skull is critical, and time is no longer a luxury. With every second that ticks by, the risk of permanent damage increases. Scalpel, the surgeon says with calm authority. Outside, Hope Logan, Annika Noel, clutches a rosary she never used to believe in. Her hands tremble as she whispers a silent prayer. Beside her, Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, stands with arms crossed, hiding her panic behind a wall of determination. Though they've been rivals, there is one truth they cannot deny. Liam is the glue that holds too many hearts together. And then comes the storm. Bill Spencer arrives, and everything changes. No one makes an entrance like Bill Spencer, Don DeMont. Dressed in black with a presence that cuts through corridors like a blade, he storms in and demands answers. Not reassurances, not statistics, answers. "I want to see my son, now," he barks. Grace hesitates. "He's in surgery, Mr. Spencer. We can't allow—" "I said now." Within hours, Bill does the unthinkable. Using backdoor connections and deep-pocket power plays, he orchestrates Liam's removal from the hospital. Even before the anesthesia wears off, Liam is sedated again and loaded into a private medical van, destination unknown. Why? Because Bill received news the others hadn't. A controversial neurologist in New York is piloting a treatment for Liam's exact condition. No trials, no waiting. But it comes at a cost. The risks are high. There's no FDA approval. But for Bill, there is no option B. "Better a reckless move than a funeral," he mutters under his breath as the van speeds away. Hope and Steffi discover the truth. When the hospital staff returns to an empty bed, all hell breaks loose. Grace is furious. Protocol has been shattered. Medical ethics ignored. "What do you mean he's gone?" Hope screams, her voice breaking. "He was just here," Steffi demands, grabbing a nurse by the arm. A tech checks the cameras. Silent images of Liam being wheeled down the hall, flanked by men in suits, flash across the screen. The timestamp? Just before dawn. Then the realization sets in. Bill Spencer kidnapped his own son. The women rush to find him, but Bill has vanished. No calls, no texts, no trace. And just like that, Liam is out of their lives. Again, foreshadowing a dangerous road ahead. This week sets the stage for a confrontation of epic proportions. Hope and Steffi will have to unite, not for love, but for Liam's life. Questions will arise. Did Bill act out of love or desperation? What if Liam doesn't survive this experimental miracle? And what happens when Liam wakes up, thousands of miles away, and realizes his fate was decided by a father who never asked his permission? A storm has been set in motion, and while the clouds hang heavy over Los Angeles, in the shadows, a secret rescue begins, one that will rattle every family on The Bold and the Beautiful. The week of July 21-25 throws the canvas of The Bold and the Beautiful into a whirlwind of suspicion, grief, and manipulation. As the Spencer and Forrester families scramble for answers, old wounds are reopened and new deceptions come to light. At the center of the storm is Bill Spencer, whose act of love becomes a ticking time bomb. Bill Spencer in the hot seat. Hope and Steffi aren't backing down. With Liam gone and no explanation offered, the whispers become a roar. Rumors swirl in the hospital corridors about corporate bribes, falsified medical transfer papers, even security threats. It doesn't take long for Steffi to connect the dots. "I know who did this," she snaps. "It was Bill." Hope resists at first. Surely Bill wouldn't risk Liam's life. But a look at the security footage showing the Spencer patriarch leading Liam away, unconscious, defenseless, shatters her doubt. They confront Grace, who confirms their fear. Liam was not cleared for transport. A confrontation long overdue. Steffi storms into Bill's office unannounced. The confrontation is electric. "You kidnapped your own son," she yells. "I saved him," Bill counters coldly. "None of you had the guts to do what had to be done." Hope arrives mid-argument, tears threatening to fall. "And what if it goes wrong? What if Liam doesn't wake up?" Bill doesn't flinch. "Then I'll carry that burden alone, but at least I'll know I didn't sit by and do nothing." His voice is steel, but beneath it, guilt begins to stir. Luna Nozawa's vanishing act. While Liam's disappearance dominates the headlines, another shadow grows quieter, but just as unsettling. Luna Nozawa, once a bright spark in the lives of the Forresters and Spencers, has disappeared without a trace. But this isn't a kidnapping. This is a mother's lie, hidden beneath layers of cold calculation and twisted love. Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, has taken her niece under her wing, not to protect her from the world, but to hide her from it. Officially, Luna is dead. A tragic accident, a swift cremation, a small ceremony attended by barely a soul. But behind a locked door in a private estate, Luna lies sedated, her body healing, and her freedom stolen. A bond built on betrayal. Lee tells herself she's doing what's best, that the world is too cruel, too judgmental, that Luna's fragile mental health needs control, not chaos. But beneath that rationale is fear. Fear that the truth of Luna's origins, or past mistakes, might destroy her forever. And yet, Luna stirs. In rare lucid moments, she remembers the accident, the pain, her aunt's trembling hands, and the injection that took her consciousness away. She said I was safe, Luna whispers, barely audible, but I don't feel safe. The audience watches as the soft glow of family morphs into a psychological prison. Hope in the distance, or a setup for tragedy? Back in Los Angeles, RJ and Zendi begin asking questions about Luna's disappearance. Lee spins her tale flawlessly. An overseas trip, a need to heal in privacy, but inconsistencies surface. A message that doesn't match her location. A photo that couldn't have been recent. And someone is watching. A mysterious figure, perhaps a journalist or an old family contact, begins investigating the holes in Lee's story. Could Luna's rescue come from outside the family? Or will she have to find a way to break out herself? A parallel of disappearances. As Liam lies unconscious in a New York medical facility and Luna drifts in and out of reality under Lee's control, The Bold and the Beautiful weaves a parallel tale of control, fear, and the illusion of protection. Both are victims of love taken too far. Both are imprisoned by those who claim to know what's best. And both are on the brink of waking up, physically and emotionally. But when they do, will the people who saved them still be standing? As the sun dips behind the cliffs of Capri, The Bold and the Beautiful transports viewers into a world of golden light, whispered promises, and soon, heart-wrenching despair. The episodes from July 28th to August 1st bring glamour and danger in equal measure, culminating in one of the most emotional turning points of the year. La Dolce Vita, a romantic escape. The Forrester jet lands under the burning Italian sky, delivering Brooke Logan and Nick Marone to the dreamlike coastal town of Naples. But the air is thick with more than just Mediterranean humidity. Ridge Forrester and Eric are also on Italian soil, attending a private fashion summit, and unknowingly stepping into a web of emotional crossfire. Nick, determined to rekindle what once burned between him and Brooke, pulls out all the stops. A seaside dinner, a vintage bottle of Brunello, a slow waltz under the stars. "You've always belonged here," Nick whispers, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "With me, away from all the noise." Brooke smiles, grateful, nostalgic, but her eyes drift. Her heart, still tangled in decades of chaos and love, doesn't settle. What neither of them realizes is that Ridge is watching from afar, his own soul caught between commitment to Taylor and a gravitational pull he thought he had left behind. The fall, a life hangs in the balance. The next morning, the serenity of Capri is shattered. While walking along the marina cliffs, Brooke loses her balance. One misstep on wet stone, a scream, then silence, followed by the sickening splash of her body hitting the sea. Within moments, chaos erupts. Tourists cry out. Nick rushes to the edge, but it's Ridge, not Nick, who dives in without hesitation. His designer shirt torn off, fear painted across his face. Ridge cuts through the surf like a man possessed. He finds Brooke unconscious, pulled under by her own dress. He yells her name, once, twice. She doesn't respond. He grabs her, lifts her toward the surface, and swims against the tide. A man fighting the very hand of fate. Rescue and revelation. As Ridge drags Brooke to shore, onlookers rush to help. Eric watches in horror as CPR begins. Salt water pours from Brooke's lips, a gasp, then another. She opens her eyes and sees only Ridge. "You came for me," she whispers. "Always," he breathes, his voice cracked with emotion. And in that moment, something irrevocable shifts. not just in Ridge, but in the destiny of every character around him. Taylor's dream crumbles. Back at the villa, Taylor Hayes is preparing for what she believes will be her new beginning. A proposal, a life with Ridge, finally free of Brooke's shadow. But instead, Ridge returns with tears in his eyes and a truth too big to avoid. I thought I could move on, he tells her. I thought I could choose peace over passion. But Brooke, she's a part of me. Taylor stands still, every word cutting deeper. You said you loved me. I do, but I've come to realize love isn't always enough when your heart belongs elsewhere. She doesn't cry, not in front of him, but as he walks away, the silence between them is louder than any scream. Nick Marone, a lonely goodbye. Nick, too, watches from the shadows. He sees Ridge and Brooke embraced by the sea. He sees the sparkle return to her eyes. And he knows, as he always feared, that he was a chapter, not the ending. Later, in a quiet moment at the port, Nick lights a cigar and mutters to the wind, "Guess some ships aren't meant to sail again." And just like that, another heart is left behind in Italy, a turning point for B&B. These episodes signal a dramatic reset for the bold and the beautiful. Lovers torn apart, dreams rewritten, the eternal triangle reborn. As Ridge reclaims his future with Brooke, Taylor and Nick are left to mourn the loves that slipped through their fingers. But heartbreak never dies quietly on this show. It festers, it returns, and it always demands reckoning. As the Forester jet cuts across the Atlantic sky, returning Ridge, Brooke, and Eric to Los Angeles, the aftershocks of the Italian chapters begin to ripple across families and friendships alike. The Bold and the Beautiful isn't just a story about who loves whom. It's about how far hearts can stretch before they shatter. And this time, they've shattered in silence. Taylor faces the void. Back at her Malibu home, Taylor Hayes stands alone, staring out at the ocean that once symbolized renewal. Now it only reflects her sorrow. She replays Ridge's words in her mind. My heart belongs to Brooke. It wasn't the first time. It likely won't be the last. But this time, it stings differently. She had believed him. With no wedding to plan, no new chapter with Ridge to begin, Taylor retreats into herself. She cancels her upcoming therapy sessions, ignores calls from Steffi and Thomas. For a woman who's always been strong in the storm, this heartbreak is the one she didn't prepare for. In a poignant moment, she unpacks the engagement ring Ridge had never gotten the chance to offer. She places it in a drawer, whispers a quiet goodbye, and walks away. Nick's return and quiet surrender. Nick Marone, meanwhile, returns to Los Angeles with nothing but silence and salt water in his soul. He doesn't chase Brooke, he doesn't beg. He simply disappears into the background, returning to his marina, his solitude, and the hollow comfort of knowing he tried. Over lunch with Katie Logan, Nick confesses, I thought I could win her back. I thought Ridge was history. Katie sighs. History doesn't just disappear, Nick, especially not with Brooke. And Nick nods. Because even when he's the better man, he's never been the right man, not for her. Hope and Steffi, unlikely allies. Meanwhile, back in the wake of Liam's disappearance, Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester find themselves strangely united. They haven't forgotten what Bill did, nor are they ready to forgive. As Liam begins to show signs of waking up at the facility in New York, the women brace themselves for what he'll remember, what he'll feel, and what he'll say about his father's choices. Both Hope and Steffi know that when Liam returns, he won't be the same, and neither will they. There's a quiet scene in Forrester Creations' design room, where Steffi hands Hope a sketch and says, "This one's for Liam, for his comeback collection, if he wants one." Hope stares down at the fabric, surprised. "You're helping me?" Steffi shrugs. "We've both lost enough already. Let's not lose the company too." The Luna mystery deepens. Back in the shadows, Lee Finnegan grows nervous. She knows her control over Luna Nozawa is waning. The sedatives aren't working like they used to. Luna has started writing notes, leaving them under doors, questioning the story she was told about her accident. Worse still, RJ has been sniffing around. He's spoken to Luna's cousin, called Old Friends. There's a whisper on social media that Luna might be alive, and that Lee might know more than she's letting on. As cracks form in the lie, Lee doubles down, but she's not the only one playing a dangerous game. A mysterious figure watches from a distance, camera in hand. Could a reporter be onto Lee, or is someone closer to home seeking justice? Brooke and Ridge, a love reignited. And then there's Brooke and Ridge. Their return to LA is quiet. No press releases, no family dinners. Just two people sitting in the garden at Eric's estate, holding hands, breathing deeply, grateful to be alive, and together. For once, there are no grand declarations, no champagne, just a soft conversation. Why now, Brooke asks. After everything? Because I thought I lost you, Ridge replies, and I couldn't bear it. You're not just my past, Logan. You're everything. She leans into his shoulder, and in that stillness, the bold and the beautiful finds its emotional center again. But peace never lasts for long. As one couple finds peace, others spiral. Taylor and Nick, two wounded hearts, find themselves in the same cafe days later. Their eyes meet. No words exchanged. Just a shared understanding. They were the ones left behind. But perhaps not forever. And far from the city, Luna grips a window ledge and whispers, "I'm going to get out." Finale teaser. As we move into August, new love will bloom, lies will be exposed, and the bold and the beautiful will remind us there is no such thing as closure, only consequences. Thank you and call to action. Thank you for joining us for this exclusive 3-week preview of The Bold and the Beautiful. With secrets unraveling, love reigniting, and destinies shifting, the coming episodes promise unforgettable drama. What storyline are you most excited about? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more spoilers, previews, and emotional breakdowns. Hello and goodbye.